for the 2 Hotheads Activism Awards.
Yes, yes.
Yeah! And I see some activists and advocates in the midst.
I'm glad we had this on a Tuesday night so we could see who our real friends are.
That's right.
People rule. Seriously, this is the coolest crowd for a Tuesday night. I mean, unbelievable.
So the question is, who is Mike Cann, right? But we have something special for Mike. We have I know Mike's giving out awards tonight, but we have a special. Wow. There is the stars.
Wow, that's fucking cool. I think I deserve this. Thank you. Thank you, Blazer. Thank you, Madeline.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm Mike Cann. He is.
Greg Capone, hello.
We are the 2 Hotheads. We do our thing every Saturday on unregular radio now, 5 to 7 p.m. Now at digboston.com. We're moving up, aren't we?
I guess, yeah. Definitely not.
Yeah, we got a Tuesday night at Bright Music Hall.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do this thing every week. I would love for people to listen to us. I know we have some of our listeners here and our friends and family, and I love this crowd tonight. So I just want to thank you all for coming out. We got the King of Pot here. Let's hear for the King of Pot. Yeah. We got Red Blazer. Thank you, Red Blazer. Heather Mack and her partner, Solo Sex. My old co-host is here for Solo Sex and Heather Mack. Yeah. Carmelita's out front from WAAF. She can't get in because she doesn't have an ID. I mean, she's only famous. Don't let her in, though. She doesn't have an ID. Sorry. But what else? We also have Vermin Supreme in the house. You know, this guy's famous too. He brought his ID.
He did. He's a friendly fascist.
We also got another dude that's kind of famous. You want to say his name?
Oh, Dan Fishman?
No, well, he is, but in our world, maybe. Yeah, we have Dan Fishman here. I was thinking about that guy right there. It's been in like 100 million news networks.
100 million news? Oh, Gregg Housh!
From Anonymous.
There he is!
Or Anonymous, or... No, he's not even connected to Anonymous. He's nothing to do with Anonymous.
No.
But look him up if you don't know him. We got some cool people here.
Absolutely.
And we got DJ Slim's here.
DJ Slim is in here.
Yeah, Pop Pass. We get some real smokers here. Well, what we're going to do tonight is, what are we going to do? What the hell are we doing? I forgot.
We're going to give out some awards. It's occupational hazard, forget it. I mean, but yeah, we're definitely going to give out some awards. We got a best political, presidential activist award, as well as, best politician activist. We got those 2 mixed up there. Yeah. We got some others.
Yeah, we're also going to give away a weed activist award.
Oh, the weed? How could you forget the weed activist?
Yeah.
Really?
And we got some other awards. We're going to have basically an award in memoriam for Aaron Swartz. Do people know who Aaron Swartz is? I'm just going to tell you how, if you don't know, because I know some people don't know. And we're going to get more into this, but Aaron was someone who was a very gifted person. He was a young man who had it all. He basically the 3rd person in at Reddit.com. He was like the Bill Gates of this younger generation, and he decided to put everything in his life into activism. And he decided he wanted to free some information and maybe break a law, maybe not. He actually didn't break the law. He actually never broke the law, but they decided, the federal government, to go after him and ruin his life. And Aaron is no longer with us because of that federal prosecution. We lost the Bill Gates of the younger generation because of the federal government, and we want to make sure that people are aware of what we're doing tonight, because that's a big part of it. We also have Barrett Brown, who's looking at 40 years, another young man. Free Barrett Brown. So that's what we're doing tonight. We also have an elected official in the house right now, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maine State Rep. Diane Russell, who, yeah. So we're doing activism, we're doing politics, we're doing media tonight, and I want to thank everyone for coming out, all our friends, all the musicians, all the bands, all the supporters. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. And we're going to bring out, do we know? The next artist? Do you know?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I do.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Well,
Performing acoustically. We're going to have three live bands after this, but performing acoustically is Michael Spaulding. I want to give him a big round of applause. Michael Spaulding coming up here right now.
yeah. Fucking right.
We got Ariel Shearer.
Sure? Shiraz? Is it Shiraz like the wine?
And we got Chris Faraone.
Faraone is in the house.
Journalists from the Boston.
Call him popped as always.
Yeah. So,
There he is.
like I said, it's just freaking who's who, man.
Who is here. And it's great.
So what do we do? We're two Hotheads Activism awards.
Yeah, we
Drunk radio?
We got a radio show?
I'm drunk and we're doing radio.
You're drunk and I'm doing radio.
Check it.
I do drunk radio a lot, guys. Alright, that's enough.
This ain't regular radio.
Certainly not.
Alright. Well,
Get someone to bring up on stage.
yeah, we got people bring
Is
up
that
on
what's
stage.
happening? We got people to bring up on
We
stage?
got awards to give out.
We do have awards to give out.
Yeah, we're gonna give out an activist politician award
Oh, really?
coming up like in 2 minutes
Nice.
after a speech.
After a speech by...
From a real politician, a guy who's run for office twice now.
That's
in the
right.
state of Massachusetts. He's a libertarian. You might know from the North Shore. His name is
Dan Fishman!
Let's hear it for Dan Fishman.
Make loud noises.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here with Mike, Frank. Thank you very much. It's an exciting time in Massachusetts. Liberty is rising at this point in time. April, it's raining, real close to graduation. I remember well my graduation days. Going out on interviews. Had an interview with a company that I really like. I thought, I'm going to get this job. They came back to me and said, Mr. Fishman, we really like your resume. We think you're going to do really well here. We have one question for you. Would you mind taking a drug test? And you know what? That's a great example of how cannabis is a liberty issue. The Fourth Amendment guarantees your right to be free from unreasonable searches. But you know what? We have a situation where right now medical marijuana is legal in Massachusetts. HIPAA protects your right to keep your medical records secure to yourself. Does that mean that your employer has a right to review your medical records? Find out whether or not you have a legal prescription for marijuana? No, absolutely not. We have a situation right now where the Constitution is constantly under threat. 14th Amendment guarantees your right to be free from, to have equal protection under the law. Well, right now, we know that marijuana laws are not being enforced equally throughout the country. And in fact, we know that in 30 states in the Union right now, there's a private prison industry. And I hope that when I say private prison industry, that makes you shake and say, ugh, what is that? Why is there an industry right now that is paying money, supporting politicians to get elected to make laws? Because they make laws that when you break them, they put them into prison. Put you into prison. This is what's happening right now. Politicians tax you, they write laws. You break laws, they pay people to hold you in prison. And that's crazy, because right now it's essentially the tail wagging the dog. We have a situation where we know things are fundamentally broken, and we can only change them by standing up, voting, making a difference. At this point in time, liberty is rising in Massachusetts. Guys like Frank and Mike, when they're talking about cannabis, they're talking about liberty. And liberty is in a bunch of different issues. We got an election coming up 1 week from today. You guys got to get out and vote. There is a pro-liberty candidate out there. Massachusetts is an open primary state. You can vote for this guy. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I don't want to insult you or anything like that. Do your research. Get out there and vote. Think about this fact. The last 2 presidents have admitted to smoking dope. Well, really the last 3 presidents, because Clinton is sticking to that I did not inhale thing. So these are guys who say that they smoked dope, and yet they sent U.S. troops overseas to be engaged in wars, to shoot people, to kill people. They were the commander-in-chief, and they smoked dope in their past. And yet Walmart tells you that you can't have a job if you turn up positive on a drug test? This is where we've gone crazy. At this point in time, we can change it, guys. Get out there, make a difference, vote for somebody a week from today. Thank you very much.
Wait, come on.
Yeah, let's hear it for Dan Fishman again. He's running for Congress and Senate now in Massachusetts. Brought up the real issues against some of these hack candidates. You say vote. Who you vote for U.S. Senate?
I will be voting for Dan Winslow.
Dan Winslow.
Me too. A Republican, Dan Winslow. He wants to legalize marijuana. You should check him out.
Absolutely.
And he quotes us, quotes our show. He knows we're legalizing hippies, and he likes us. How many Republicans do you know that like legalizers? You know somebody. Dan Winslow. Vote for him.
That's right.
All right. You got to stick around, man.
Yeah, you gotta stick around, man.
We're giving away an award. Grab that award. It's right over there. All right. We're going to give away an activist politician award. We've had a lot of politicians on our show over the last couple of years. Joe Stein, Barney Frank, Dan Fishman, Diane Russell. She's been on our show several times. Vermin Supreme, who's in the building, has also been on our show. We had Stanley Rosenberg, Gary Johnson. So we've decided to give away an activist politician to the politician that's come on our show that's been the most activist over the last few years. It was a close race.
Making things happen.
Making things happen.
The person who won the sport has made things happen.
Oh, I heard it the other way. Oh, my Cann's drunk. This person has made things happen. Do you guys know who won?
Do you guys know who it is?
No, he doesn't. Chris Faraone don't know. If Faraone don't know, no one knows. He knows what's going on. All right, so we're gonna give away an award, activist politician. Is Dan Fishman still here? He went away. He went back to his year. And he's still here. All right. We're gonna announce the results. In 5th place.
We've got Judge Jim Gregg.
Wow, you remember that? You are brilliant. I knew you would, man. Frank Capone. I just called you Dan. Frank Capone. In 4th place. Governor Gary Johnson.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I remember that.
3rd place?
Jill Stein.
No, she didn't even register.
Fucking Jill Stein didn't register.
No, she was like 6th place.
What's wrong?
She didn't come back to the show, dude. She was a one-time Steve Epstein scared her off. No, okay. So let's go. People aren't listening to this. We gotta be quick, Frank. This isn't radio. 2nd place. No, we didn't do 3rd place. 3rd place is Dan Fishman. In 2nd place, Vermin Supreme. Wow. Dude wears a boot on his head and he beats out the governor. The big winner.
1st place.
Activist politician, Maine State Rep, Diane Russell. She's coming up on the stage. She tells us that she might actually legalize marijuana in the state of Maine. She's working on a lot of other things too. Let's hear it loud. Maine State Diane Russell, Maine State Rep Diane Russell. All the way from Maine, taking the bus to come see us. Let's hear it louder, louder.
There's one thing I learned. Oh my God. Oh, it's awesome.
Lady represents people, and she's awesome.
Yeah, let's hear it louder. She really is awesome. Come on, let's hear it for Diane. Come on! Great musical!
State Representative Diane.
She's legit. She might be running with Hillary. Seriously. She is the rising star of the Democratic Party right now.
Too legit to quit.
So I've learned one thing over the years living in Maine. It's don't ever drive in Boston. So I parked my convertible and decided to take the bus down. I have the flu, so I apologize for the husky voice. This is awesome. Thanks, guys. 2 years ago I introduced a bill that would legalize marijuana in the state of Maine. Because I believe that we have bigger and better priorities that we can be focusing our attention on than pulling people over and searching their car for marijuana. I learned today that instead of tracking down people who are trespassing and tracking down poachers, that a good portion of our time for the game wardens in our state is spent tracking down marijuana. I would rather go after folks who are poaching. I would rather make sure that our law enforcement are focused on educating our communities and protecting our communities. I would want to make sure that instead of spending all this extra money on things like that, why don't we educate our kids? Why is it that every time I try to work on a budget, the first thing that gets cut is K through 12 education or college education? How many people have a lot of student loans?
Fuck student loans!
Why are we making it easier to go to jail than to get a college degree? Why are we making it easier to go to jail than to pay for a K through 12 education? These are policy choices that are being made whether or not you're at the table. The policy decisions get better when you're at the table. Democracy does not end at the voting booth. It starts there. You belong there, but you also belong in the halls of the State House. And it makes such a difference for politicians like me to hear from people like you. Because all I see in the State House in Maine is the shiny shoe brigade. You know the ones, right? They got the spiff shoes, they come in all polished, they got everything all ready to go. Is that who you want representing you? No! Is that who you want people like me to listen to? No! And I may have this today, but this isn't about me. This is about all of you. And this is about the progress that you've made here in Massachusetts to make sure that patients have access to their medicine. And hopefully, and we are getting very close, hopefully, Maine will be the first state in the country to have their politicians legalize marijuana because people like you stood up and said enough is enough. Stop going after people who are smoking marijuana and start funding education. And go Boston, the entire country is with you.
I'm standing here with Diane Russell, right here, a recipient of the Activist Politician Award.
All right.
Well deserved.
2013, let's give her a round of applause, absolutely. Well
Thank
deserved.
you.
And none other than Dan Fishman, my man, Libertarian candidate for the offices, whatever, any office possible, right?
U.S. Congress 2014.
U.S. Congress 2014, excuse me, I apologize.
That's all right.
So, how do you feel first, Diane, about winning this award, this Activist Politician Award? Like, this is just the culmination of all your wonderful work of, like standing up for the individual and speaking the truth. So, how do you feel about it?
I feel honored. I mean, there's so many people that are working on this right now that have laid the foundation for decades, and we're at a real precipice right now, an opportunity to really make a difference and to finally, reprioritize our choices. Instead of, like I said in there, instead of focusing on putting people in jail, let's focus on funding education. I'd much rather fund K through 12 schools than fund jails unnecessarily. But that work, this is a huge honor, but it's not just me. It's all the people that have laid the foundation for decades who have stood out when it wasn't cool to do that. Those people deserve just as much respect. And so I don't think that this is just for me. I think it's for all of us that have been working on this for so many years.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's like the best answer ever. Right?
It is. I'm sure right. We're at the pinnacle right now. We're at the apex. People have been climbing the scale of individual liberty and the idea that people have the right to control their own free time for a long time. And really, Diane is the culmination of it. She's done an excellent job. Things that are happening in Maine right now are hopefully going to be an example of the rest of the country. But we see what's happening. Liberty is rising. People are recognizing that, most mainstream politicians want you to think that there's a number line of politics. There's the right, and that's the Republicans, and there's the left, and that's the Democrats. But it's not a number line. There's a third dimension. There's a third direction. That third direction is personal liberty. And that personal liberty, that's what's rising up. If people recognize that, recognize it's not Republicans, it's not Democrats. It's about us being able to do with our own lives what we want. Diane,
For a libertarian issue, this is an American issue, and it's a fundamental issue about justice and freedom and what you can do with the privacy of your own home.
Yep, right. And the idea that, at this point in time, recognizing that the parties at this point in time may be a little engaged in winning elections, as opposed to bringing people together.
And actually solve the problems, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. And when we have individual politicians like Diane who are willing to stand up and say, I'm more interested in representing the people than I am in representing the party, everybody wins.
Exactly, everybody wins. And that's what we try to bring you here on Two Hotheads where activism happens. We try to bring two opposing viewpoints together and find the common ground and make things happen. Boom.
Good interview.
Awesome interview.
Hey, I gotta take pictures.
What? Pictures?
I gotta take pictures.
Alright, pictures.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry.
That was a great
Let's get in here.
That was good.
Right?
Alright, I gotta figure this out.
You gonna figure it out or you gonna take fucking
figure it out.
Like,
Somebody better get
hold on, I gotta
that
take pictures as if it's like you know what to do.
It's saying this
Push the
bunch.
piece on.
Just hit the fucking
Oh, I got it, I got it.
Alright.
It's the button that says photo.
Is it a problem that the lens cap is on?
It's
Stay. Don't move. Because I don't know if he's really getting it, so I'm going to get it. Just in case.
Good luck, good luck.
All right. Okay, let me expand for Mike. Oh, sorry.
Hold on.
Good luck.
I'm like the lady and all the gentlemen. Is this my hair?
Come on, Mike.
Rose
Your
among
face.
the thorns.
Your face. Let's see your face, Mike.
Like,
That is a photo bomb.
Yeah!
She's gotta get a train. We can't keep her too late. Don't let her miss her train.
Yeah.
I need one too. Can you take one minute?
Don't forget my iPhone app. You can download it. It's free.
What's your page?
It's just called Vermin Supreme.
This is Vermin Supreme. He's famous and he should be.
No shit.
Hell yeah. Buy my merch.
He was robbed of the presidency. Voter fraud.
Get in there.
Hells yeah.
Oh yeah, we're there.
Oh
We're there.
yeah.
All right, there you go, right in the middle.
Give me some.
There we go, fellas.
All right, nice. All right. The pictures on the internet, they make me whole. They make me whole.
they last forever.
Yeah, so true. Or until the big electromagnetic pulse sort of wipes all the digital data out. Yeah.
Wow, Frank Capone!
Hello!
The Two Hotheads Activist Awards.
It's happening.
Still happening.
Still happening. Always happening.
Still a lot of crazy
It's the present
people
tense.
there. Fucking sick people there. I love
This
this
is
crowd. I
people
love
with
this
sick.
audience.
People
I like
got
that
out of their
this.
sick beds.
No,
to be
because
here.
usually we're like, the things we're at is too many people, you don't get to talk to the people you want. This is perfect. The people I want are here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good fucking people here.
Yeah. We get to give them fucking awards.
Yeah, we do. We
One of
get
my
one
favorite people in the world, I'm about to bring up on stage here and give him an award.
That's right. Because it's award time.
Yeah.
For marijuana activist of the year.
On our show, really like 2.5 years.
On 2.5. All right.
Through
we'll call
Steve
2.5
Epstein,
years.
through Heather Mack,
Yep.
and now with Frank.
With Frank. Hello. Where's Heather? Let's hear it for Heather.
Heather was here.
She was here. Now she's there.
We're gonna give this award, this marijuana activist award, to a dude who often talks about his mother.
The baseline is sweet, by the way.
He talks about his mother.
Yep.
Is that?
I think he might be his name.
Yeah.
Oh, his name is the King of Pot! There he is.
K.O.P. 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 Marijuana Activist Awards. Let's hear it for the King of Pot.
Yeah.
You know the King of Pot. You love the King of Pot.
Or you just want pot?
Oh my God, I'm not doing no long speech. I'm not doing no long speech. This is really nice. Look at that, huh?
Long speech.
No long speech. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
How many of you love smoking marijuana?
Yeah.
How many of you want to see it legalized in Boston?
Yeah.
And also, how many of you want to see these Department of Health's regulations changed? So we can grow marijuana and not have to buy it at a dispensary. We should not be forced to buy our marijuana at a dispensary. If they're allowing us to grow now, if you've got a medical marijuana license, then why should we have to pay the man $400 an ounce when you could grow it for quite less than that?
Uh-huh.
So Remember that, because, you know, Mike always says I talk about my mom. I do. That's the reason why I came out being the King of Pot. It was a moniker I use because I love a man that's in Canada. His name is Marc Emery, and he's serving in a federal penitentiary right now for selling seeds to us in America. And our own DEA went in and arrested him. And between that and my mom passing away and not being able to use marijuana in this state, I came out. And I used a moniker called the King of Pot. Yeah! So that's what I do. I don't make money at this. Not yet, anyways. I'm going out to California to host HempCon in May with my buddy Jeffrey Peterson, the 420 comic. I hope to have video at thekingofpot.com and KOPproductions.com. And tune in to me every couple of weeks. I have a radio show on Thursday nights. It's Live with the King of Pot. And it was born in Unregular Radio Studios, where two Hotheads, where Activism happens. I started there, and now Mike carried on Activism. He's going on 2.5 years, Michael. Yeah! And I want to say another thing, and I always say this, and I'm probably preaching to the choir, because a lot of you know that me and this guy here, we're brothers. We are real brothers. Blood brothers in the movement. We've been through the bowels of this movement together, and we've always stuck to each other in the hard times, and we fought for the rights of you guys, because we want to see marijuana be able to be used here legally without that many restrictions. Thank you very much for this award, and I hope I didn't overstep my talk. I love you, Mike.
Let's say everyone once again, the King of Pot! Really, my brother, he's helped so many people, supported so many people. We got a free t-shirt. Who wants it? Who wants a King of Pot shirt?
King of Pot shirt coming at you! There you go.
All right, we got another award.
It's happening. Another award
coming
up right now.
Do you know this person?
Do I know that person? I don't know. I think that
this is a famous person.
Did this person run for president?
This person was like unknown for like 1 million years. He was running for president every year. No one could understand what was going on.
Oh.
And then this year he became famous.
Yes.
Like he was like seriously fucking famous.
Yeah.
He's a meme.
He is a meme.
People write songs about him.
Does he even exist?
Does he even exist? He might just be made up on YouTube. He could be an actor. Could be a conspiracy theory.
This could all just be a psyop.
Well, we're going to give it an award. This man has bested the governor, Gary Johnson.
That's right.
He has busted the Dr. Jill Stein.
Jill Stein out.
The award is presidential candidate. He's been on our show and came live into the studio.
That's right.
Messed up our studio with glitter.
He glitter bombed your studio?
His name is Vermin Supreme. He's running for Boston mayor. He's running for president. He's running for Massachusetts governor. And Mass Senate. Thank you, Chris Faraone. His name is Vermin Supreme. Vote for him.
Vote for him.
Get some glitter. Get some ponies. Vermin. Supreme. What do you think about the award? Here's the microphone. Take over, dude.
A vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote totally wasted.
No, it's not. No. I get mad at people on YouTube that say that.
Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation of ours long enough. It must be stopped. For too long, our country has been suffering a great moral and oral decay in spirit and incisors. A country's future depends on its ability to bite back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. As we cross over into the bridgework of the 23rd century, let us bite the bullet and brace ourselves as we hurtle over the bridgework into the 23rd century. May we become a sea of shiny, smiling faces from sea to shiny sea.
Yeah!
Now, friends, do not be fooled by false teeth prophets. This mandatory toothbrushing law is not about the dental re-education centers. It is not about preventative dental maintenance detention facilities. It is not about the computer dental chip implants to keep track of you and your children for your safety. This mandatory toothbrushing law is not about the government-issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance. And friends, let me assure you that this mandatory toothbrushing law is not about DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth-fairy enforcers. Friends, what this mandatory toothbrushing law is really about is strong teeth for a strong America. Thank you.
Yeah! We're at Supreme 2016. You're the next dictator president right here. Here's an award. Go get you a picture taken.
You should brush your teeth!
You could be a meme. Supreme.
Glitter bomb.
Supreme. We're gonna have to clean this shit up again. That's what happens every time he comes
That
around. We've
didn't
gotta
get
clean
my
this
beer.
shit up
Anyone
after.
that just saw that did not get my beer. I have nigh a glitter in my beer right now.
Alright, what are we doing now? This is serious. We had fun.
It is kind of serious time now.
We're getting serious.
It is.
We're gonna give this award to the Activist of the Year award. We gotta give it to we tried it on this Activism Awards. It was really about our show, the guests, and the people that have been on our show that we really love and like, and that's who we wanted to award. This is a guest that we haven't had on our show. We featured a whole episode about him. We've talked a lot about this individual and his case and who he was and the work he's done. But we haven't been able to have him on the show yet because he's in federal prison.
On some bullshit.
Yeah. Looking at 40 years. He's the Activist of the Year award on our show. His name is Barrett Brown.
Barrett Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Free Barrett Brown.
That's right.
We're going to bring up some of his friends from Boston. Lauren Pespisa, you might know her from the Pirate Party.
Yeah.
She's a big internet activist, I believe. And Gregg Housh.
Gregg.
People know Gregg. And some anonymous people. Let's tell us about Barrett Brown and grab his award, Lauren. Right.
Yeah!
Let's hear it for Lauren first.
Yeah!
Thank you. It's really exciting to finally have all the hard work that Barrett's done been recognized. Unfortunately, he had to be in prison for that to happen, or he didn't, but it happened. And every time I talk to him, I like to tell him about how many more people have heard about him, how many more people are supporting him, how much more donations we've gotten, how much more publicity we've gotten. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, don't worry, the cavalry is coming. And when I see everyone recognizing everything we've done and everything he's done, like, cavalry is here. Thank you.
A minor correction there. He is not facing 40 years. He's facing 101 years. So, yeah, and worse than that, he started with a public defender because there was no money, of course, to defend him. He has now got private counsel. They've raised $20,000 in donations, and just a few days ago, the government filed paperwork to take all that from him, saying that they're going to use it to pay the public defender that he had. They can't legally do that, but they've done it anyways, and it's already passed a judge.
Oh.
So they really want to put him away. So I think, the one thing that I would say is if anyone doesn't know what's going on with him, he is being railroaded, and it'd be worth your time to go look up and see what's going on. Beyond that, for anyone who does know or, appreciate Barrett, I talked to him just a few days ago. He actually gets to call us, and he's surprisingly upbeat. He thinks he's going to win this, and he wanted me to tell everyone thank you for the award. And, we're just going to keep fighting it.
Yeah!
Google that live. Thank you so much, Lauren and Gregg, for coming up here and accepting this for Barrett. And the anon. Let's hear it again for Barrett Brown. He's a gifted 20-something-year-old that should be free. I mean, we should be giving this guy awards, and our government's trying to put him in jail forever for a victimless nothing. All right. Another serious award.
Yeah, very serious.
And this reminds us too, we do have a lot of fun with what we do, but This is a world is a very serious place, and sometimes we are the people that will address these serious issues and these serious people. And this next gentleman, it's a tough thing for us to do here because we want to make sure that we're honoring these people the right way, and especially this individual. Do you want to say something? Do you want to lead into this one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this award is for someone that, you know, really dedicated their life to activism. And not just one particular strain of activism, but making tools for folks who wanted to make a difference, you know? And it wasn't just about one particular bent or political thing, or, you know, it's just about information and giving people the ability to make a change. And that was why Aaron did what he did, because he wanted to make information available. He said, hey, the taxpayers are paying for this, we might as well, let's make this available because the public's paying for it, but you know what it is. But yet he never introduced and never sent any information or anything like that. But, you know, there he was indicted.
Yeah, he didn't even commit a crime. You know? I mean, Harvey Silvergate, one of the most brilliant lawyers in the state of Massachusetts, said, I've investigated this, I've looked at this from all angles, and I have a unique perspective from a legal mind, and there's no crime. There is no crime. This gentleman committed no crime. He was one of the brightest, technical, smart people we had in this area, Boston, New York area. He went to Harvard University. He was the Bill Gates. He was the Steve Jobs of our generation, the younger generation, younger than me. He was in his 20s.
Me too.
And the federal government killed him. If Bill Gates and Steve Jobs had been around, the government would have killed them for the things that they did in their experiments and their upbringing. And this is what we're faced with the federal government. And we are going to bring some people up. There's been a protest of what happened to Aaron Swartz. Aaron Swartz committed suicide. He killed himself because he wasn't going to rat on anyone. He wasn't going to take a plea, and he killed himself.
Yeah.
And we lost him, and this guy, you know, invested all of his time and money and energy in good causes. He helped defeat the first one of the internet laws. Was it SOPA?
SOPA, yeah.
SOPA.
Yeah.
He
do it. And what happened this past week? SISPA passed, you know?
Without Aaron.
Without Aaron.
And so we have to, what we've decided to do tonight, too, with this Aaron's, we're giving this award to Aaron. It's Up Angel. Is a protest that's been going on of Carmen Ortiz in Boston. We want to get rid of the U.S. attorney that prosecuted Aaron for a victimless crime. Let's hear it for getting rid of Carmen Ortiz.
I think something's important to know about.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's get on it. Stand this. Let's hear it for getting rid of Carmen Ortiz. Yeah. This ain't that full of a room. There's a lot of support for that. And that's what we're talking about today for Aaron. Up Angel, they've been protesting Carmen every couple of weeks. They've even gone to her neighborhood. There's been a lot of press on this. Dan Winslow, again, I brought up his name earlier. He's been supporting Aaron's bill and Aaron and what we're talking about with this subject and Aaron himself. We are going to give this award to Aaron's family. We have some friends and supporters of his. We want to bring them up. What else do we want to say right now, Frank?
What I was saying is, you know, that Carmen Ortiz is going to get a lot of good credit for what had happened with this past week with us in Boston, but we can't forget what Carmen Ortiz is really about.
What she did to Aaron Swartz.
What she did to Aaron Swartz.
One of our best,
you know,
best people that we lost.
We respect and understand the terrible things that happened, but the reality of the situation of what the system is really like, and that's what things happen to Aaron.
And what we're going to start doing every year is we're going to have an award ceremony every year, and we're going to give an Aaron Swartz award every single year to the best activist.
That's right.
This year it's Barrett Brown's getting that award, but this is the first one for Aaron. This is for Aaron, and every single year from now on, we will give an award in Aaron's name. He's that important. So let's hear it for Aaron right now. And let's hear it. We're going to bring up Chris Faraone from the Phoenix.
Here he comes.
We're going to bring up Matthew Krawitz. And we're going to bring up some anons and Gregg and Lauren. The people that knew, anyone that knew Aaron. I want you up here. Ariel, get up here. Aaron's people up here. Let's grab a microphone and talk about Aaron for a little bit.
Well, I hate to go first, but I was running out of here a second ago because I got a bunch of shit to do. I've been covering the unfortunate situation in Boston for the past week, and Mike came up to me and asked me just to say some words on it. I didn't know Aaron. A bunch of people I knew did, but I figured, you know what? I think he'd be the first to say, and I can't speak for him, but that this is not just about him. So I'll make this quick, but I just want to tell you a quick story about how, there's been a lot of talk about prosecutorial overreach, and when we talk about it with Aaron, we see exactly how it happened, right? This is a direct, this is Carmen Ortiz, who, by the way, I've had the unfortunate experience of watching at these press conferences all week, and watch the national media look at her, treat her as if she's not a Neanderthal. This has been sickening to me. But I just want to let everybody know, and I'm not going to give the specifics, but when we're talking about prosecutorial overreach, it's not just about that individual necessarily. I lost a dear friend recently, and he was the end of his rope, because his father is a criminal. And they've subpoenaed his family more than 40 times. Every time they subpoena his family, every time they subpoena an individual member of that family, it has cost between $30,000 and $100,000 to fight that subpoena. And guess what? Everyone has been won. Everyone has been thrown out of court. But it has taken that much money, all right? So it takes, as soon as one is beaten, they throw another one on the counter, all right? People get to the end of their ropes. Aaron Swartz, it's unbelievable the amount of attention this has gotten, and I can't thank everybody enough for that. People do need to realize it's not just a direct target of these despicable investigations. It's their entire families. Everybody suffers, often for no reason. I don't give a fuck if your uncle is Whitey Bulger. If you're trying to be a teacher, do your thing, raise a family, whatever, you do not deserve to be persecuted, let alone prosecuted, for whatever it is you may be doing. Your finances, and guess what? The Constitution protects you. So I could go on all night. I just want to say, man, my whole family's been destroyed by this shit in the past couple of months. And I can't even imagine what Aaron's close friends and family are going through. But let's take this fight beyond that. Let's let everybody know that this will not stand. Whether it's the direct target of the investigation, friends, family. This is prosecutorial overreach, and it's unconstitutional. And that's it, man. Peace.
So I didn't know Aaron, but I've been working very diligently to memorialize him and memorialize his efforts. Faraone did a great job of talking about what Aaron means and why Carmen Ortiz needs to go. We're part of Op Angel, which is a global movement to bring attention to Aaron's life and unfortunate demise. Here in Boston, we focused on Carmen Ortiz because she's our U.S. attorney. She's the person most responsible for his death. She's the person who has failed the people of Massachusetts over and over and over again. And she continues in her role of U.S. attorney. It's really unconscionable. She's responsible for death. She's responsible for economic death. She's responsible for lying to the courts. Her prosecutors have recklessly run roughshod over people's rights for little reason more than she wanted to. I think one of her famous quotes is, "Everyone in the country is a hammer or is a nail, and I'm the hammer. I get to pick who I get to hammer." And that's that kind of prosecutorial discretion, that kind of political grandstanding that makes her, I think, ineligible to act honorably and to act with any kind of decorum as U.S. attorney. Especially when looking at this case with the Boston Bar. This is a woman who is all about the politics, and it's a woman who's all about what's in it for me. She's shown it over and over and over again. And how is she going to prosecute this case with the Bombers? We really need to take a stand here in Boston. I thank everybody for coming out. Aaron Swartz's life was half-lived, and we really need to recognize his contribution and move forward.
Thank you.
things that people need to realize about Aaron is that, you know, he did actually do pretty well for himself there early on. He helped found Reddit, helped get, you know, that up and going, and he took the money he made from that project and instantly turned it around into activist activities. One of the organizations that he helped to get going was Demand Progress. And if anyone really wants to kind of connect with people he was working with and get involved in a lot of the stuff that he was doing, visit Demand Progress's website. And another thing you can do is just even Googling, look for Aaron Swartz projects. He was working on so many different projects that are half finished, that need support to finish, that are really interesting, good projects. And there's a lot of people joining him to help finishing off all of his work. So if anyone wants to help out with that, it would be greatly appreciated.
Woo! Yeah, woo!
One more thing with regard to Aaron, something we need to keep in mind is that, you know, when a hammer comes down, it comes down hard. And even when people do well for themselves financially, you know, everyone handles these kind of situations differently, and they may not outwardly ask for help and support from everyone, or they may not be, you know, as insistent upon receiving it. And you might think, oh, they're doing fine, but like we really need to, as like a community, pull together more to support people who are in trouble, so that, you know, it doesn't come down to people being at the end of their rope. And hopefully, going forward, you know, we'll all support each other better and make sure that we're helping our friends where we need to.
Yeah.
We're just here to make sure that Aaron's legacy is never forgotten, and that way we keep going on with his life work. So we're going to make sure that Carmen's gone. We're going to make sure that she's out of her job.
We're on camera here.
Yeah.
How's it going? Thank you, citizens, for making this all possible. This has been truly a wonderful award ceremony, and I will remember it fondly. To be included in such luminaries, to be sandwiched with such luminary awards. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it because I'm a dilettante.
How do individuals support your 2016 campaign?
You can just spread the good word. You can buy my merch, of course. I undoubtedly will have a Kickstarter or Indiegogo to raise some funds for bumper stickers. When it comes time to get me on the ballot in New Hampshire, I'll try and raise that money on the line. You know, keep the art coming. Whatever.
What do you think's the most effective way, though?
Most effective way to
support your campaign in 2016. I need your fortitude as to what will be the most effective way. Maybe like 2015. You know, 2-3 years from now.
It will be 3 years from now, in fact. Yeah.
What do you think will be the most effective way then?
Well, you can bring me to your town. You can bring me to your college campus.
I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts.
You can bring me to your local
City
campus.
of Champions.
You can bring me to your local
We got the fucking Rocky Marciano statue.
Nice. I would love to photo op next to it. I'd love to shake his hand.
So what do you think in 3 years? What will be the most effective way to campaign?
If you're so close, if you're here in Massachusetts, when we go up to New Hampshire, New Hampshire's where we have like all sorts of crazy fun during the New Hampshire primary. We pretty much own it. Every candidate that's running for president will be there. It's a small state. We have a whole lot of fun. We just chase them down, go from event to event, and make our voices be heard. It's a perfect opportunity.
St. Anselm College, right?
Sure.
That's where all the action is.
That's a lot. Manchester, there's a lot of action all over that.
You know what I did? I went to the Republican primary up there, like debate.
Yes.
And I snuck in. They tried to snot me. They got 2 of my friends, but they didn't get me.
Right on.
And I just walked around like I owned the place.
Excellent.
And I met all kinds of dignitaries.
Yeah.
But there's something there.
Because the security's lax, and you can get right up close to these people and shake their hand.
They got my friends. They didn't get me, so it wasn't. I kind of used them to get in.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
So you think just like stumping for you with a street sign?
That's a good
is
one.
the way to go at St. Anselm.
Tag me on the social media, plug me on the social media. It's hard to say. I mean, I was quite a meme there for a little bit there. I was pretty popular and famous. Now, not so much, I guess. But, I still got my message. I still have a viable alternative pony-based economy. I've got plans. I've got high hopes for 2016. It's a little bit of lull in the action right now, but it'll pick up.
I seriously think you have a shot at mayor of Boston.
I think so.
A legitimate shot now that Tommy's not running.
Well, it all depends, I'm just running. If I say I'm running, but I don't think I'll be getting no 3,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Although that's fairly reasonable. I don't see it happening.
Know what I think, and it's not with bias because I'm a computer programmer. I think the most effective way to get the word out is to door knock. You need to go to every individual's door and knock.
That's a good one. And phone banking, calling people up randomly.
I don't really like that. I hate when people call me. I
but
fucking
like
hate
they
that
start talking
shit.
crazy stuff at you?
Nah, not really. It's like I'm not even willing to answer the phone.
It wouldn't be a prank phone call because it would be like for my campaign.
I don't even
Excuse
like
me,
it.
sir, would you like a free pony? And you'd be like, what?
But how do I know it's not your recorded voice and your actual self?
I don't know. You have to ask me questions. I guess.
That's why I like door knocking.
Yeah.
All right, I only got 2 minutes of battery.
All right. Well,
so we'll have to talk.
Save it, or should we keep talking? It's up to you.
I don't know. I'm gonna ask Cann. I know. I'll ask him later. I'll save it.
It's a little bit of the monotone, it's a little bit of the slowing down the speech, and it's definitely about the pauses.